Most people spend their entire lives in their comfort zone. And here's the truth. Most people are broke, they're unhappy, they're overweight, and they have not created a life that they want. And that's not a coincidence. When you avoid discomfort, you ultimately avoid growth in your life. And the cost of that is your happiness, your health, and ultimately the life that you tell yourself that you want. The first part of this is realizing the fact that your brain sees uncertainty as a threat. For our ancestors, the unknown often meant danger in many, many ways. A predator, a rival tribe, or a lack of resources. Your brain hasn't evolved much since then. I often say that we have modern day problems with ancient brains trying to deal with them. And when our ancient brains are trying to deal with modern day problems, it often doesn't go that well. Anything uncertain, a change in career, a hard conversation, a new environment, it automatically gets tagged as unsafe in our life, even if that could change your life for the better. This is the major shift that I want you to understand in this video, is recognizing that the things that you avoid most in your life because of this fear of uncertainty are the very things that will change your life for the better. And it's unfortunate that our brain works this way, but in many ways, our brains are working against us because it feels as though they're trying to protect us from the uncertainty. But in the reality, it's just holding us back from creating more opportunity. And you have to realize the fact that your brain 99% of the time is going to choose a comfortable hell over an uncomfortable heaven. It's going to choose the certainty of the same over the uncertainty of the opportunity, of the new, of the exciting, of the novel experiences in life that you're looking to create for yourself. And if you don't realize the fact that your brain is literally working against you in many ways, your brain will always work against you because you don't have the awareness to recognize and break through that pattern of letting life just happen to you rather than you happening to life. Pain avoidance in many ways is hardwired. Obviously, we don't want to feel pain, and the human brain is built with a negativity bias, meaning avoiding pain feels very more urgent than gaining pleasure. And psychologists call this loss aversion. The fear of losing something is stronger than the excitement of creating something new. And so if our brain's always in this constant mode of seeking how the uncertain isn't safe for us, we're always going to keep sticking to the same life, experiencing the same things, and ultimately creating the same kind of future because we're in this constant mode of thinking, if I go down a new path, it's uncertain. Uncertain means unsafe. And so when discomfort shows up in your life, you back away, you avoid the pain, you avoid the risk, even if that blocks you from long-term results in your life. Those rewards that you are looking for are going to come from risk. Rewards really happen when you open yourself up to risk, when you open yourself up to something different. We've all heard the quote that nothing changes when nothing changes. And this is so much more true than you could possibly imagine because most of our days are spent doing the same things, experiencing the same feelings, and ultimately thinking the same things. And if we're constantly thinking the same, we are creating the same. And unless you're able to actually break that pattern of thinking the same way, of doing the same things, you will always experience the same life. And that's why discomfort is so powerful, whether it's a physical thing that you're trying to do and you're really trying to see if you're capable of it, whether it's running a mile or running a marathon, it doesn't really matter the difference as long as it's different to you and it's challenging. Those are the things that really stretch you in life, whether it's a new job, it's a marathon, the things that you don't know the outcome, those are the things that really stretch you in life. This past week, I hiked a mountain. Actually, I hiked a volcano in 2 days and I did it in vans. And before I started, I thought, I don't really know how this is going to work out. I mean, obviously, I've never done that before. So it was something that was brand new in my mind. And doing it in vans when everyone around me was prepared and wearing hiking boots and etc., I didn't know how it was going to work. And it was about 6+ hours up, starting at 4 a.m. and freezing cold. And I just didn't know how it was going to work. And once I finished it, I was so grateful that I did because it just unlocked something new in my mind of, hey, didn't know if I could do it, did it. And the more that we're able to do that, when I started my business at 17 and I started my coaching business, not knowing how it was going to work, and I realized that so many people believed in me and I didn't believe in myself, and I created opportunity and I started working with people. And that first time I got paid from a client, I just couldn't believe it. And it opened up another opportunity in my mind to realize, hey, didn't know it was going to happen. I went into the risk and I got a reward. And the more that we're able to do that in our lives, the more that we're able to really hardwire ourselves to seek uncertainty, to seek discomfort, we are able to create so much more in our lives. But many of us avoid it because it feels like the right thing to do. Our brain really makes it feel as though it's the right thing to do. And comfort has become your default environment. And it stinks that it is that way. And the people that you're surrounded by, it's probably making it even worse. Modern life has really, in many ways, just completely destroyed hardship. We're not hunting for food. We're not walking miles for water, and there's not really any physical threats that are coming at you day to day. There's not a bear that's coming at you. There's not a lion that's coming at you. You don't have to worry about these things that we had to worry about for so long. And as I said, we have ancient brains trying to deal with modern day problems. And so when we used to have that for most of our ancestry and we don't deal with that now, think about all of the anxieties that we experience when we have all of this time to think about what could go wrong, but no actual discomfort to actually deal with all of those anxious thoughts. Because if you rarely have discomfort in your life, your tolerance for it drops. This is why the most successful people that I've had on my podcast are the very people that go out of their way to create discomfort in their everyday life. It could be the gym, it could be a run, it could be endurance sports, it could be starting a new business. It does not matter what it is. Finding a way to initiate discomfort in your life and create struggle will change the way that you show up for yourself and ultimately change the value and meaning that you create in your life. Because if you really think about your life as a whole, the things that have created you to be the person that you are, the characteristics about yourself, the traits that you are most proud of, have likely come from experiences that you wish you could have avoided in the moment. The most destructive and difficult experiences that in your life are the very things that have created you to the person that you are today. Yet we go out of our way to eliminate those experiences from our life. We try to create as little discomfort as we possibly can. It just puts us in a place to never really experience hardship. And if we're not experiencing hardship, we're not experiencing meaning, because what meaning really comes from is things where we don't know the outcome, moments in time where we are not sure what's going to happen, and moments in time where we feel, honestly, probably at our lowest, because at those moments, we see what we're made of. We see what's possible. We see that we are able to get through it. And so much meaning is derived from doing hard things. Yet we find a way to eliminate our hard things from our life. So how can we make hard things easier to do in our lives? First and foremost, we have to recognize that our environment is likely working against us. If you want to go to the gym, but your gym is 40 minutes away, you're not going to the gym. But if you had a gym in your bedroom, it's going to be a lot easier to show up for those things. So if you can make your environment work for you rather than against you in whatever thing that you're trying to do more of in your life, it will change the way that you show up for yourself, because the less resistance that you have, the more opportunity that you are going to create for yourself. It really is that simple. And one of the biggest shifts that I've been able to make for myself is that most of us avoid discomfort because it feels like a chore. But once you're able to make it turn into a game, your life will change. I realized this when I started to run. I hated running when I started, and most days I still do. But every single time I run, I try to run a little bit further than I did last time. And it could be as much as a mile more. But when you're able to turn it into a game and really see what you're made of, you want to lift a little bit more weight, you want to run a little bit further, you want to work a little bit longer, it doesn't matter what the thing is. If you turn it into a game, life starts to open up, because life is a game of infinite games. There is never an endpoint that you're looking to get to. I just want to play the game. I just want to keep going. And our brains are really wired to just do a little bit better than yesterday. We're not really meant to have these massive experiences in life that are the biggest moments. I've had a billionaire on my podcast, and the lowest moment of his life was after he sold 76 companies for $1.2 billion. We're not meant to have massive moments. We're meant to progress just a little bit every single day. And if you can make that a habit of just progressing a little bit every single day and just trying to beat yourself, not trying to beat someone else, just trying to beat yourself a little bit more every single day, and you turn it into an infinite game, your life will evolve in the process. And this last piece, it goes hand in hand with making your environment work for you, and that's habit stack. You already do certain things day to day without fail. You brush your teeth, you have your coffee, you use the bathroom in the morning, like the small automatic actions that you do every single day that you don't even think of. Habit stack something on to those things that you do not want to do. For example, if you want to start doing more push-ups, do your push-ups after you brush your teeth. If you want to start meditating, meditate after you eat breakfast. Small things that you do every single day that you just don't think of are the very things that will allow you to show up for the things that you don't feel like doing, if you're able to habit stack them into your life, because then they're easier to remember. It's so easy to avoid, but it can be so easy to implement if we find something that we're already doing. Life doesn't have to be so difficult. Life is going to be difficult one way or another. But if we're actually actively finding a way to make it difficult, and we inflict discomfort in our lives every single day, the discomfort that we experience in our lives won't feel so major, because the more we try to avoid it, the more we experience it. And the more we go after it, the easier it feels. And if you want an easy life, you have to do hard things. That is a mindset that I've lived by for many years. So powerful in the way that it has changed the direction of my life. Discomfort is going to happen one way or another. You can avoid it and make it more difficult on yourself, or you can go after it and you can make it easier on yourself. Life is going to happen one way or another, and avoiding discomfort just makes it more difficult.